Hey patriotic internet friends and family, welcome back to the channel. In this video, corruption watchdog versus Justice Minister. Who's breaking the law? Retired Justice Seymour Panton says Minister Delroy Chuck is leading MPs down a dangerous path. But wait, it gets messier. Let's dive in. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more juicy updates on Jamaica's political and social scene. Welcome all patriotic Jamaicans. The movement continues. Make we get into it now. Let's kick it off. Integrity Commission Chairman slams Justice Minister Delroy Chuck. Sparks fly over spouses' salaries. Well, specifically what we are talking about is Section 40 of the Integrity Commission Act, which prevents all politicians and members of parliament from hiding ill-gotten gain, corruption, and illicit enrichment in the name of their spouses and children. Yes, that Delroy Chuck have a big problem with, and him and the Jamaica Labour Party are try to change the law in the Integrity Commission Act. Basically, if we weaken and make the Integrity Commission become useless and powerless, turn them in a little watch puppy, not a watchdog. And you know, a pup is no threat. And all this effort is being done in secret behind closed doors to make the Integrity Commission powerless and useless to fight and investigate political corruption. So basically what I go on now, the Integrity Commission Chairman, which is retired Justice Seymour Panton, is at odds with Delroy Chuck from the ruling Jamaica Labour Party government. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is advising his parliamentary colleagues not to comply with critical provisions in the Integrity Commission Act that requires them to furnish information about their spouses' earnings to the anti-corruption body. That are the real problem and the real issue where the JLP have with the Integrity Commission right now. And things are gonna get real interesting, so stick with me with this. The Integrity Commission Chairman reminded the country that the Integrity Commission Act, which was passed by parliamentarians including Justice Minister Delroy Chuck, provides for certain declarations to be made by parliamentarians and public officials. He said failure to do so carries penalties and fines or imprisonment. Yes, would I love to see politicians start their prison in Jamaica. Panton continued, I am very disappointed that he is confirming a view that he is not serious about good governance. After all, it is not difficult to see that it is very easy to hide income and assets in the names of relatives, Panton said. I urge all parliamentarians and public officers to do the right thing. That is, obey the law, he concluded. And this is not the first time Delroy Chuck has said things about the Integrity Commission, because in the past, Chuck once said that the Integrity Commission had no integrity, whatever that's supposed to mean. But clearly we can say the political officials, them, our politicians, them have no integrity. We're gonna jump right in at the heart of the story, see? So in Section 39 of the Integrity Commission Act states that subject to provisions of this act, every person who on or after the appointed day is a parliamentarian or public official shall submit to the Director of Information and Complaints a statutory declaration of his assets and liabilities and his income in the form set out in the third schedule. Now we are going to move on to Section 40. So now we are going to jump in at the key and the heart of the matter. Section 40 prevents all MPs from hiding assets in their wife and in them picnic name. So this our Section 40 of the Integrity Commission Act states a statutory declaration shall include such particulars as are known to the declarant of the income, assets and liabilities of spouse and children where applicable of the declarant. So this are the problem now where the JLP or Delroy Chuck have an issue with. They have a major problem with this because this prevents the politicians from hiding possible corruption, ill-gotten gain, and illicit enrichment, hide money and asset in the name of their spouse and them picnic. That's why Section 40 of the Integrity Commission Act prevent. So guess what now? The JLP government is proactively and reactively try to change the law there. They want to get rid of that the law there. They want to put a limit and restriction of the investigative powers and probes where the IC can look into. They want to make sure say wife and picnic of the MPs are off limits. So if me want MP and me do things where outside of the law, some corruption or illicit enrichment activity, me can hide it in the name of my spouse and me picnic them, and the IC cannot request to see my spouse income and all bank accounts were in my spouse name and all bank accounts were in my picnic name. They want to stop that. They want to prevent that from happening. Note, this is the said Andrew Holness-led government who put all of these laws into place in the first place. But apparently, them never mean it and they never serious about it because them realize the Integrity Commission is actually doing their job and them are doing too good and too well. So we can say the JLP government is not serious about good governance or to stop corruption or to give any form of transparency, and them want a third term. Make it make sense. So this is why Delroy Chuck and Seymour Panton go at it. So basically this is all about limiting the powers of the Integrity Commission Act and change the law to restrict their investigative powers. So if they accomplish this, the watchdog will be not more than a little watch puppy. When I have no teeth, I just be a gum. A little puppy can't even bark, kinda no talk. So corruption can continue and go on unchecked. No transparency now go did it. Reducing and transforming the Integrity Commission, which is an anti-corruption body where can't fight corruption none at all. That's how the JLP try to accomplish in all of this. And yes, me know some JLP comment scholar I go say no, I know that go on because they're in denial and they're in delusion. Yes, a lot of those die-hearted JLP a part of the problem, and that's why corruption continues, because they turn a blind eye when Freedom Party are the wrong, but quick to call out when the PMP are mess up and are the wrong. And I see something with the PMP followers them, then turn their ear when PMP are the wrong, and quick to point out all of the downfall and corruption where JLP are do. So it two of them stay. That's why I can't choose none of them and I can't pick none of them, because two of them I see same thing. So make we take a look and see all of the people them were actually upon the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee who recently had a meeting in Gordon House to discuss said restrictions and change the laws in the Integrity Commission Act. So I could see the names of the people upon this committee. The committee members include Warmington Committee Chairman and Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck, and a Chuck and Panton go at it now, Labor and Social Security Minister Pernell Charles Jr., House Speaker Juliet Holness, Legal and Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahu Fort, and two persons from the opposition, Finance Spokesman Julian Robinson and Energy Spokesman Philip Paulwell. So those are the people with upon the Integrity Commission Oversight Committee. As you can see, majority of them is from the ruling Jamaica Labour Party government and 2 from the opposition. Let me jog on a memory, just in case you forgot. The legislation was passed in 2017 by the Andrew Holness-led administration. And what legislation am I talking about? The Integrity Commission Act. It said one where them have tried fight against now, what them put in place in the first place. Don't you find it strange that somehow or for some reason our politicians only pass laws or quick to amend and change laws where protect and benefit them, but we don't see them a pass no law to protect the people and the entire population from criminals and crime. I realize the government take a very soft stance when it come to passing and enforcing real laws what can make a difference, real laws what can put pressure upon crime and criminals. Then I have no interest in actually, changing those laws when it comes to crime and criminality. But when it comes to the laws for protect them and their rich friend, snap of a finger and laws get changed. As it relates to this specific matter, where the JLP actively and proactively try limit the powers of the Integrity Commission Act, may I pay keen and close attention to how Mark Golding and the PMP are going to react to this. This is the time for the PMP party to shine. This is where them to apply real serious political and social pressure upon the Jamaica Labour Party government. You cannot have a government that try to do something as egregious or serious like this and you just make it slide. I want to see if Mark Golding and the PMP are going to make the JLP get out with something like this. I want to see if Mark Golding and the PMP now going to make a big deal out of this. Adamantly and vehemently burn out the JLP and say no, you can't do that. Because something like this only are going to ensure more corruption. So I want the people of Jamaica pay a very close and keen attention to all of this. Because nothing about this no look good. And you really want a third term. You have the audacity and the nerve and the unmitigated gall if you want a third term. Obviously, the JLP government is not about good governance. They are not about transparency. They are not about holding public officials accountable and responsible for their actions as it relates to corruption and illicit enrichment and such acts. I can't take the JLP government serious. I don't know about Uno. Because Chuck basically I suggest to the Joint Select Committee that reviewing the law of the Integrity Commission Act would make it clear what limits can be put in terms of investigations. That's our Chuck suggested. So all eyes are on the government members on Parliament's Joint Select Committee where I review the Integrity Commission Act over this proposal, which will push to change the law of the Anti-Corruption Agency following a private meeting. This meeting, hosted by vocal critic of the Integrity Commission, none other than, you guessed it, Everald Warmington himself. And between February and July, the Integrity Commission are going to go through some leadership changes. So apparently, terms of contract are going to expire for some people in the Integrity Commission. I mean, not like that. Because who did they do a good job so far? We don't know if who are come next. If, as they said, politicians them are going to interview them and appoint them. Because if that's the case, I'm not saying it isn't, but if are them responsible for that the part there, that could never be a good look. So me I hope, I know you said politician them we are try get rid of the laws, we are uphold integrity and transparency within the government. Hope none of them said politicians they are select who to be a part of the Integrity Commission, really and truly. So we want to understand Section 40 of the Integrity Commission Act is where the Integrity Commission can request from all members of Parliament fi give statutory declarations where I go include their spouse's income, assets and liabilities, and also the children where applicable of the declarant. The declarant being the MP, which is the subject of that statutory declaration. Even National Integrity Action Professor Trevor Monroe respond to Delroy Chuck and I say, unless clarified or wrongly represented, Chuck is advising / inciting MPs to break the law. Panton, in his own rebuttal of the senior government minister and lawmaker, said Chuck to advise his colleagues to break the law may well be itself an offense. Basically, what sort of example is he setting for public officers? Panton questioned, adding that in some countries, the Justice Minister would have been relieved of his ministerial responsibilities after such an admission. Everybody know that. In a serious country, he would have to step down and resign. But Jamaica is not a serious country, so welcome to the circus. Welcome to the clown show. You have a lawmaker, a senior government minister tell political co-workers say they fi run with the IC when they ask for their spouse income, assets and liabilities. To run them where I not give them nothing. What kind of government is the JLP government? That's a real question we have to ask. Because clearly, Section 40 prevents politicians from hiding assets and ill-gotten gain and illicit enrichment in their spouse and them picking him. So, and these people are fight tooth and nail to change the law. They limit all of the powers of the Integrity Commission. Not a good look, JLP government. Not a good look, PM Wholeness. I know you just sit back and watch everything will go on, but guess what? Everything starts with leadership. And we see the leadership take the Integrity Commission to court. So if the leader can challenge the watchdog body, what you think his subordinates them are gonna do? It's funny how these said lawmakers act like they're so morally righteous. You see me? Them basically act like them a god for the Integrity Commission, like them I say, and me write you into law, and me create you into existence, as a watchdog body. So how now dare you want go on like you're more powerful than me when me have the power to write you in law and write you out of the law? That's the arrogance what me I get from these lawmakers. The spark that ignited the fire. Now, picture this. The Integrity Commission, our local anti-corruption watchdog, is minding its own business, trying to ensure politicians play fair. Then comes Justice Minister Delroy Chuck, casually suggesting to MPs, hey, maybe your spouses don't need to share their financial info with the Integrity Commission. Cue the drama. Enter Seymour Panton, IC chairman and retired justice, with a mic drop moment. Delroy, what you're doing might just be illegal. He didn't mince words, folks. He questioned Chuck's example setting, saying that in some countries, ministers would be fired for such actions. No joke. Yes, fired. You heard that right. If Jamaica was a serious country, the Integrity Commission Act is crystal clear. MPs and public officials must declare their income, assets, and even the financial details of their spouses and children. But Chuck, he's advising MPs to ignore this. According to Panton, this is not just bad governance, it is an invitation to hide assets. Chuck's advice sounds like a monopoly card. Get out of transparency free. A legal and moral tug of war. Chuck didn't stop there. During a parliamentary committee meeting, he boldly questioned why the IC even needs this information. He advised MPs to tell the IC their spouses weren't willing to share their salary details. Imagine telling a teacher, sorry, my dog ate my homework, but make it political. Panton wasn't the only one calling foul. Professor Trevor Monroe, a corruption expert, accused Chuck of advising MPs to break the law. Yes, you heard that right. Your Justice Minister is allegedly inciting law breaking. And yet again, clearly we see politicians flaunting their political power. It's rules for thee, but not for me. So we can break the law all day, all night, cause the men who make the rope can never get hung by the rope. But wait, it doesn't end here. Behind closed doors, Chuck and other government members are reportedly discussing changes to the Integrity Commission Act. What are they planning? Could they be trying to clip the IC wings? Stick around. The bigger picture. This is bigger than a spat between Panton and Chuck. It's about the fight for transparency in governance. If MPs can dodge financial disclosures, what's stopping them from hiding corruption? Panton summed it up perfectly. Obey the law. But will these changes to the Integrity Commission Act actually weaken its powers? And why are government officials holding secret meetings about it? The public deserves answers. But for now, all we are getting is deflection. Here's a summary of the highlights and key points. 1. The Integrity Commission Act mandates MPs and public officials to declare financial details, including spouses and children's income. 2. Delroy Chuck's statement advising MPs to ignore the sparked outrage from retired Justice Seymour Panton and others. 3. Professor Trevor Monroe's warning: Chuck's advice could be seen as inciting law breaking. 4. Closed door meetings among government members are raising concerns about potential changes to weaken the IC. Transparency or trickery? Where does your government stand? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's keep the conversation alive because Jamaica deserves better. See you in the next video. One love, Jamaica. I'm gonna share one international story with you guys. South Korean authorities have arrested President Yoon Suk Yeol, who faces charges of insurrection following an unsuccessful attempt to impose an illegal martial law. Yoon is now at the Corruption Investigation Office. He said he agreed to the interrogation, even though it is an illegal investigation, in order to prevent any unsavory bloodshed. Authorities served the warrant after an hours-long standoff with his security staff and supporters, which saw investigators using ladders and wire cutters to enter Yoon's residence. This marks the first time in South Korea's history that a sitting president has been arrested. Yoon had been holed up for weeks. Investigators tried to arrest him earlier this month but failed, and this happened this week. So this is a recent story out of South Korea. So this is current affairs. So you have to make yourself aware with what going on in the wider world. And obviously South Korea is a serious country because this is a sitting president. And the man try pull off one illegal martial law, and the people, them never did have it. You get me? And as usual, in supporters, them I go back him and say, innocent, no follow him alone. But the South Korean people, them did not care one bit. And the law is the law.